everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I'm here with project number 3 using my Make a Pretty Life kit, and the very first thing I've done here is I've printed out my photos using my Life printer. That's just my little one that prints the 2x3 photos, and then I did type up some journaling. So I'm going to be using this InstaAlbum and making a little mini album. Now this in the muslin bag that I used in the birthday gift bag that I made for project number 2 with this kit were the things in the kit that I was like, I'm probably not going to use those, but I'll just keep them in my stash. And I don't know if subconsciously I like challenged myself or what, but I got into this like kick where I wanted to use up the things that I thought would be difficult to use. So being that this kit is pretty much a pool related kit, I went ahead and Calen and I have been hanging out at the pool a lot here the first pretty much the 2nd through 4th weeks of May, and then that's of course just continuing on into June. But our pool opened up the 2nd week of May, and we've basically been there every day that has nice weather since it opened. And I have this agreement with him that if he has his homework done by the time I get home from work, then I'll take him to the pool for an hour or 2 each night. It usually ends up being about an hour and a half, and then we come home and eat dinner, and then he goes to bed. And it's just a great way to like burn his energy, but it also is a motivator for him to go ahead and get his homework done, which I love. I'm usually the one who does his homework with him, and I really enjoy doing the homework with him, but it's even better if we can go hang out at the pool. So a lot of these photos are just from those times that I go take him to the pool, and I usually don't swim with them whenever I'm just going for an hour or so. I usually just bring a book, bring a drink, and I sit on the side of the pool while he plays with his friends. There's a lot of friends in our neighborhood that we'll either take one of the like the neighbor kid right next to us, or well, I guess she's a couple of houses down, or I'll text one of the other moms in the neighborhood and tell her we're going to the pool. And a lot of the times there's somebody already at the pool that we know, so he always has a friend to play with, and so I just usually chill on the side of the pool and then let him play. So that's what these photos are from. So I wanted to go ahead and type up the journaling because I knew I have a very small canvas to work with. I believe it's like a 4x4, but I think it's slightly larger. I think it's like I had to cut the paper, I believe, to 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, but I just measured it before I actually did any cutting to make sure, because I am only using the kit. I mean, I can add things from my stash if I need to, and I will add a few things from my stash whenever I actually go to cover the front and back covers of the album. I didn't have plans to do that, but then I kind of looked at it and I thought, let's just see what this looks like, and it ended up looking great. So this first video, there's 2 parts to this process, but the first video I'm going to do, I think the first 5 pages, I have 5 different photos here, and then the front and back cover. I'm not decorating the back cover, I'm just covering it, but you know, you'll see that process here. But because I have such a small canvas to work with, and I did want to go ahead and get like the story of the pool and how much Calen loves it in, I thought I would go ahead and do my type journaling. It also kind of takes away the not the stress of doing the journaling, but sometimes I feel like I can't get the full story in my own handwriting. So the type journaling really kind of allows me to put more information in there, but then I also kind of do it before I'm actually in the project, so it gives me a moment to kind of think about it outside of just doing the project. Because right now I'm in creative mode. I'm not necessarily in the like journaling mode. I'm in the creating the visual mode at the moment. So I'm just using a stamp set here. That's a Felicity Jane stamp set. It is their Sophie stamp set, and some Memento Tuxedo black ink there to stamp out itinerary, and that's just going to go right above the journaling right there. And I'll go ahead and read you some of the journaling as we go so you can kind of get an idea. So the first page says pool time, and I said the pool is open. The pool in our neighborhood officially opened Friday, May 11th, 2018. Since the day it opened, Calen and I have went every day that the weather wasn't crazy. My deal with him is that if he has his homework done before I get home from work, then I'll take him to swim for 1 to 2 hours. We've gone every day except for when it's been storming. Then this page I have, oh, I thought it said itinerary. I'm sorry, it says unforgettable. And then I'm using a couple of the die cuts and just a couple of the little elements from the kit to decorate this. I've got like the little fern leaf, and then I've got these little, I don't know what they were called, but they were yellow and blue little sprigs that were in the kit, and I include a few of them here. As well as the little die cut that says Guppy. and then one of the little puffy stars. And then I've got the pictures that go along with the story over here to the right, and they're just 2 pictures of Calen swimming laps. And then I'm using a clear sticker that I had gotten in my little D-stash haul from my friend, and it says swims like a fish, so I'm going to layer that over the edge of the photos. But my journaling says, and off he goes. This boy is just like a fish. He loves swimming. Regardless of if he's with friends or just by himself, he always wants to go swimming. I am so proud of him for working hard last summer and mastering swimming. He likes playing in the water or even just swimming laps. This year, his big focus is working on handstands in the water and diving for things at the bottom of the pool. Maybe this kid will be a scuba diver. Last year, he worked really hard to be able to swim without touching the bottom of the pool and making sure he's swimming proper swim strokes, because at the gym that we go to, we didn't have a, well, we had a pool in our neighborhood, but we never went to it. It was very small and not really good. So we always went to the gym pool, which has this massive pool, and it's got a couple different pools, and it's got slides and things like that in it. But in order to be able to swim by himself and not have to have me with him, he had to be able to swim a full lap of the pool without touching. Now, they weren't very strict about having to be able to do a proper stroke. I mean, some kids just like laid on their back and floated and and kicked until they got to the end. But Calen was really particular about wanting to make sure that he was swimming a proper freestyle swim stroke. So he swam a full lap without touching the ground with his goggles on, breathing to the side and everything. And I was so proud of him because he worked so hard on that last summer. And by mid-July, he had his band, which is like you need the wristband to be able to say that you passed your swim test and you're able to swim without your parents. So he worked on that really hard last year, and I was so proud of him. So this year he has a new goal, which is to be able to do handstands and just to be able to dive to the bottom and get different things. He's pretty good about diving to the bottom, but he's working on holding his breath and being able to go for a particular thing versus just kind of going down wherever he can. He tends to float, so he has to work on being able to go down at the bottom of the pool. So this one is all about me. This page is all about me and what I do whenever he's swimming or when we're at the pool. So the journaling says, my standard spot while Calen is swimming is on a chair in the shade with something cold to drink and something to read or watch. Current favorites, drink. Current drink faves are flavored sparkling water or a fruit smoothie. So refreshing in the hot sun. And then I've got reading/watching, YouTube videos, or a good book. A perfect time to sit back and relax. And then there were 2 little die cuts of drinks in the die cut pack. And so I put those there and I just layered one of the little word strips over it. This says poolside is the cool side. And then I'm going to use a couple more die cuts. Well, 1 more die cut and 1 chipboard sticker from the kit. As you see, I have a huge pile of die cuts and stickers in here. What I did is I took the chipboard sticker sheet and just punched all the pieces out of it, so I didn't have this big 12 by 6 by 12 sticker sheet to work with. I do have that clear one that has all the puffy stickers still on it, but it's a lot easier to work with that. It's not quite so big and bulky. But the chipboard sticker sheet, things were kind of starting to fall out of it and all of that as I was starting to work with it, so I just punched them all out. That way it's easy to kind of flip through in this little basket I got. And this basket's just a simple basket from the dollar store. I actually find that from the dollar store you can find some really good organizational baskets to use in your craft room, funny enough. Alright, the next 2 pages are really just filler pages. I don't have any photos that I'm putting on here. I do have another page that I'm going to do at the top there where you can see the photo. But this particular one is just a couple die cuts and then a few of the chipboard pieces, and they're just going to be filler pockets. I have the one on the left has a sunshine, that's a die cut, and then we've got the splish splash chipboard pieces, and then I've got the swim sticker and then just the little girl swimming on the right, and that just kind of fills in those pockets. Very simple. Then I've got the last page that I'm going to work on today. I will, of course, have more photos and more journaling for the second part of this. But at this time, those are actually all the photos I had taken. So there were a few days in between me completing the first part and me completing the second part. So this one just is a photo of the slide. Calen was actually going towards the slide, but I went ahead and took a picture of the slide because it's this really big slide at our pool. And so the die cut that I'm going to use on that page says, "Come in, the water's fine." I'm just going to cut it in half so it kind of fits right there. And I am going to use the doily that came in this kit. If you saw my gift bag video, I actually completed this first part of the mini album before I completed the gift bag. So you'll see that the doily in that process video was cut in half. This is the reason why, because I had already layered part of it on this particular page in my mini album. The journaling on this side says, look at this awesome slide. It's tall and it's got lots of twist. That's the best part about it. Our pool doesn't get crazy busy, so there's almost no weight or line for the slide. Calen always takes at least 5 or so turns on it each time we visit the pool. And then I have this big splash. I think that's one of the coolest things of this die cut pack is because there's all these little splash pieces. So you can actually just kind of create kind of some movement around your pictures. If you have like one where someone's jumping in the pool, you can kind of create a little bit of movement by adding those splash die cuts. And then I also used one of the puffy stickers, which was this beach ball. I did use a stamp from, oh, I don't know what it was. I don't remember which stamp set this is from, but it says Fun in the Sun. And I just stamped it a couple times in a row on a scrap piece of paper I had, and then cut that out to layer on that bottom of the left side as well. And then I just had a little wave that I layered on the right side over the photo. Now I'm going to assemble my album here, and I was trying to figure out, at this point I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to be covering the covers, but I just wanted to kind of see how it looked. And I thought about decorating the cover. Oh yes, my dinner break. Calen and Lonnie, one of our neighbors, were making me pizza. They made me Play-Doh pizza, so they were giving me dinner here while I was working on my mini album. They were actually, the entire time I was working on this mini album, they were sitting on the floor playing around me, and so they kind of kept me company the whole time. And then a couple days after I finished the album, Lonnie was in our house eating dinner with us, and she saw it sitting on the table, and she said, "Is this what you were working on the other day?" It's really kind of cute. That she even flipped through it and told me how much she liked it. So I thought it was really kind of cute. That just shows me how scrapbooking, even though it's not everybody's jam, not everybody understands why we scrapbook or what we do, people can appreciate it even if it's not something that they actually do themselves. So at first I thought I was just going to cover the front with this pattern paper, and this is just me and my Big Ideas 8x8 pad. It's the Sunshine paper pack, or paper pad. And this was what I had gotten. If you watched my last haul video, one of my friends had purchased a bunch of scrapbook supplies and then used some of it, but not all of it. And she asked me if I would like it. And I said, sure, I totally will take it. So this is part of those things that she gave me. Plus some of those clear stickers that were related to the pool were also from her. So I used them. I had just gotten it at the point where I was working on this mini album, so they were fresh on my mind, and I had them around my desk, so I thought it would be a perfect way to kind of utilize that. So now I'm going to cover the inside, and I thought about using one of the pattern papers, and I thought, why don't I just use the same pattern paper? It'll make a lot more sense, and it'll look a lot more streamlined. And I'm also, by the way, using my We Are Memory Keepers hole punch, and it's the 1/4 side, I believe, is the side I'm using. I think it's a 4th. Is that a 4th? Yeah, that's got to be a 4th. And so the only part of the cover that's not actually covered is the spine where the rings are. That, if you look at it, you can still see the chipboard beneath that. But it's a finished craft color chipboard. It's not raw chipboard or anything, so it looks fine. That was kind of where the seam shows. Decorated the front with a couple of the die cuts that spelled out pool, and then an Endless Summer clear sticker that I just backed on a piece of white cardstock, and then that, which I think this floaty is so cute. It's a flamingo floaty, and I just put that on the front. I wasn't going to use that really at any other point in my album. So plus I find the chipboard's a little bit thick. The chipboard from in this kit is really thick from Fancy Pants. I don't know if all their chipboard's that way, but I did notice that it's very thick chipboard, which also can be really good because it's really good quality chipboard. So I'm just covering the back just the same way I did the front, but I'm not going to decorate it, just covering it front and back, and then punching my holes. And then that actually is going to complete the first part of this mini album. I will be back with the second part with, I believe it's another 5 pages, just like I did in this first one. I hope you guys have enjoyed this so far, and I highly recommend, if you have an album like this, use it, because I am totally enjoying this process. And I think it's going to be really nice to have this little album about how much Calen loves the pool, because that really is a big part of his life right now. Alright guys, thank you so much. I'll have still shots at the end for you to take a look at. Alright, I'll see you soon. Bye.